In case you didn't know, children should probably not be listening to this podcast.
So if it's a comic book movie, that's in our wheelhouse. We're going to have a conversation about that for sure.
It's a big thing right now. It will. And especially when it comes out, you'll be like, you know what? I was part of that.
You and me both.
I like to be butt ass naked.
Hell, I'm all about it.
Did I turn you on right now? Get off me. You sick bastard.
Are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
That means I gotta suck dick. I ain't doing it.
Because it's full of semen.
Those chicken nuggets are delicious, bro. What, a sleepover?
Welcome to another episode of the Squadcast podcast. I'm your host, Wane Tango.
Wub, 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 wub.
And those random noises are Patrick,
Wubsy,
Wubsy,
Wub.
Swiftiker,
Wub pants.
Wub Pants. Have you been listening to dubstep again?
Just in the intro.
Just in your butthole?
All of those things.
Was that my phone or yours?
That was not mine because mine is silenced.
Mine is silenced too. That was my my tablet.
Ah.
In the other room. No, right here.
Damn that thing. Yeah, the other room next to you.
The other room right next to my right hand. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Well, we got a couple things. We got at least one thing to talk about, I guess.
How many things are we talking about?
The one thing.
Okay.
The one thing that we went and watched last night.
The Donkey Show on West Broad Street?
It turns out we was not in Tijuana last night. Or West Broad.
That's true. We went to the theater last night, didn't we? The theater.
The theater. We went to the movie theater.
Yes, we were on our best duds. Yeah.
We got all swankified.
Yes.
No, we didn't.
No.
We barely even showered for this.
Yeah.
We went to a late viewing.
I came straight out of work.
Of the Saturday night show for Bats versus Soups.
The Dawn of Justice.
The Dawn of Justin Case.
The Dawn of Justin Bieber.
Ew. Which that also could have been that creature at the end.
Wait. Spoiler alert. Doomsday is Justin Bieber.
No, this is a spoiler-full show. We're actually going to talk about it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, that's not my problem.
Yeah, it's been out for 48 hours. Deal with it. So, what was your initial impression from walking out? Well, first off, what was your ideas walking into it? Where was you at? Was you excited about it? Was you ho-hum?
Very much excited. Very much.
Was you very reserved?
I was very excited.
Awesome.
Yes. From the moment that Kevin Smith had mentioned that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, that's where I picked it up from. Was back when I was actually on Twitter.
When you was on the Twitter?
I was on the Twitter. I used to be a tweeter addict. But no, when he had said, Ben Affleck's going to be Batman, I was ready to fucking just, yes. I was all about Ben Affleck being Batman.
I don't think I could have been more reserved when I found out it was going to be Batfleck.
Yeah. That was the general consensus, and I kind of get that, You're a little gun shy with, Daredevil, so what can you expect?
Yeah, he's kind of, well, then again, I guess this has been the year for superhero redemptions.
Yeah, with Deadpool and
yeah, all right.
Potentially, we're gonna get Wolverine might get.
We got Ryan Reynolds reprising a superhero movie, which he bombed so hard with Green Lantern, which I actually didn't think it was that bad of a movie.
Yeah,
though I had a couple of small complaints with it, but I didn't think it was terrible. Right. Not as bad as what most people thought.
But no, yeah, I really was excited. Not a big Superman fan, but was definitely down from the moment that they had mentioned that this movie was going to be a thing, because fucking Batman. But I liked it. What did you think about it?
All right. First impressions coming out of it, I am split down the middle.
Yeah.
Like there's parts of this that I'm so excited to see, and those other parts that I was unbelievably disappointed, or I thought they could have done better because of how well they done other parts.
Okay. Yeah, that's very fair with that movie, because I also had my moments where I was like, holy shit, that was awesome. And there was a couple moments where I was like, oh crap, that was really scary, because there was some shock factors. And then there was other parts where I was like, wait, no, what is, you can't expect me to buy that one there.
Yeah, well, all right. So here's one of the things. Like, I have issues about comic book hero movies that we've had several iterations of, and they constantly feel like they need to beat us in the face with the origin story.
Yeah.
All right, so I got issues with that, especially with Batman. We don't need to see his parents get murdered in the alley again for the 7th time.
Yeah.
The 6th time. I'm not even really sure which Batman movie we're on now.
Right.
Everybody knows the story.
Yeah.
You don't need to reiterate it. They only had it in the opening credits, which I gave them kudos for that.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, they tied it in.
Yeah, they just splashed it in.
They give you a reason why they showed you the 1.5 minute long credit scene version of it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like you said earlier, there was a point at the beginning of the movie where I felt like standing up and walking out.
Yeah.
I felt the urge welling up inside me.
That was during the dream sequence, right? The first one?
Yeah, before I realized it was a dream sequence.
Right.
Because it still felt like it was part of the opening credits sequence.
I was having a hard time watching that, not because it was weird or anything, but because there was a dude 2 rows in front of me his phone was just fucking on, and like I was really gonna throw popcorn at him to get his attention so he would stop, because it wouldn't have been a problem if he would have been actually texting.
Yeah,
but
I seen you look upset.
Dude,
about
I was
something.
like, I was gonna throw something at him because like he had his phone open and he was waiting and he was just holding it open and like he would touch the phone for it to stay open and he was watching the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna fucking choke this guy. But so I didn't get to see that.
See, I thought me and you was like having a moment about the exact same thing because I was feeling very frustrated, but it was because what I was seeing on screen.
Right.
And I look over at you, and you had this WTF look on your face, and I'm like, I know, right? How dumb is this? Yeah. I couldn't. I figured it out slightly after that. What you was actually mad about because I heard you mutter something about a cell phone.
Yeah.
And whenever I leaned to the left, the person that was sitting in front of me, their head was perfectly blocking that glow, so I couldn't see it.
Right. I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really get too upset because I think I was the only person it was affecting. But anyway, that didn't really affect because it only happened for like a couple minutes.
Right.
But he was dialing a number at one point, and I thought he was literally going to make a phone call, and I think he was talking about like, hey, do you got this number? Who is this? And he looked it up, I think. But I was like, he's about to make a fucking phone call.
So anyways, the part where I got so upset was it was still part of the origin story.
To clear some up, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. That technically wasn't the intro, though. You had walked out right before the movie started to go. So there was about another 3 minutes before that you didn't see. It was like the funeral scene and him running away and then actually getting into that cave.
No, I was there for all that.
Were you for the...
Yeah.
You
walked back in.
You missed the part where they were bringing the bodies in. That's what it was. But yeah, it was all tied up in the first.
No, I seen him get murdered and the necklace break.
Yeah.
I seen the whole, all that. Him laying there saying Martha.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that. I seen all that.
Yeah, I know that because that was after you came and sat down. But there was like another 2 minutes right before because you had stood up and like the leaf fell and that's when the movie started and you had already you couldn't have even gotten to the door by the time the movie started. I was like, damn it! I wonder if he's got his phone on him. And I didn't message you because you were. I thought you were going to the bathroom or whatever. So
yeah, well, I was like the never-ending credits. We was watching credits for half an hour. It was a half hour past the advertised showtime.
Yeah, but anyway, so I guess you want to just
all right. So the part the part that was giving me such a hard time right out of the beginning was still part of the origin sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It was just slightly after the opening credits. Young Bruce Wayne falls into the bat cave.
Mm-hmm.
He sees all these bats. These bats come up and they start flying around him. And he's all scared at first, and then he stands up and he's kind of embracing it, like, yeah, bats are cool.
Yeah.
And then he starts levitating up out of the cave because the bats are just flying around him. And I guess it's creating a bat vortex, and he is fucking flying. All right. When I seen that shit... I was like, no, I am out.
That's funny.
Congratulations, Zack Snyder. You stole $9 from me. Congratulations. I hope you choke on it, you asshole. Is exactly what I was thinking.
Well, it quickly redeemed itself.
Yeah, well, it kept me in my seat because I felt myself like leaning up to like, well, I'm gone. And then he had that moment where he wakes up in bed like, and then he starts slugging, drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to sit here for a few more minutes. I'll give you a chance.
You bastard.
Yeah, so close to me walking out right there. Right, not even 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I liked it. But I thought that was a little... But yeah, he had started mentioning, he was like... in the dream, I started to float to the light.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait, what?
I was like, no. Batman does not fly on a cloud of bats.
But okay, now you're saying that you're torn, and I mean, obviously, you definitely mentioned the part that you didn't like. Give me something that you did like. Let me rephrase that. How did you feel about Ben Affleck's portrayal of Bruce Wayne and Batman?
I felt he was a really strong Batman and probably top 3 Bruce Wayne.
Yeah?
I don't know, maybe top 2 Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Number 1 being...
to me, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And
yeah.
Batman Begins. To me, that is the best portrayal of Batman.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people that hates on him for whatever reason, but if you take away his gravelly, corny, cheesy sounding voice, which didn't appear to me in that way, but I could see if that voice was annoying or comic-y or out of place, that it would make the rest of the movie hard.
I honestly think that very one fact, because there's a lot of people that you can't really contest that Christian Bale didn't really pull off Batman very well. I mean, he did a good Bruce Wayne, too. I mean, he was a pretty good total package.
He done good on both.
He nailed both pretty well.
He done good on both.
And then, I had no qualms with him other than the voice. And, I mean, I got past that pretty quickly. But 90% of the people that I've ever talked to about them talking about that Batman and that portrayal and that writing style, how it was kind of dark. The only problem they have is the voice, and I really think that was a conscious. Like, I think that totally affected this film, in my opinion, because if you haven't seen it, they give him it's like a thin wire, and it just goes over his throat. It's like a little lap band, but it's for his throat. And
it's a throat mic.
Yeah, it's a throat mic. It just covers his throat, and he just talks, and
it modulates.
Yeah, it modulates it down. He's like, "Well, hey girl, Barry White." It sounds pretty dope because it's not like terrifying, but whenever he gets angry, it kind of sounds like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, that whole line, do you bleed?
Well, you're gonna, or whatever he says. You're going to. I wish that he wouldn't have said anything after that. That was probably the only part I was like, oh, yeah, you didn't sell that one too.
Yeah, I'm going to admit that's about as gangster and as hard-ass as you're going to get, because if you're standing in something that's basically indestructible, and they're telling you, if you keep doing what you're going to do, I'm going to end you.
Yeah.
And then you look at him and go, do you bleed?
Like, yeah, that's all you need to say. You just basically asked the god of your planet, yo, bitch, you got any period blood in there? and then he just flies away. And then you still have to say, I know that, Superman can hear you, but you got to? I mean, really?
Right.
Well, you're gonna. He's flying. This motherfucker. Yeah, but I liked it. But yeah, that Doomsday, though.
Yeah, we do kind of need to talk about that. It was unnecessary for the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
it was here's my thoughts on it. I would have, if they're going to do Doomsday, I would have liked to have seen an entire movie dedicated just to Doomsday and not the third act.
Right.
Yeah,
because Doomsday is no third act. I mean, he killed Superman.
Well, that needs to be the third act, but I wanted more of it. If it's going to be Doomsday, really make me feel scared, and then really show me how powerful Superman is. Because the problem is Superman spent the entire movie holding back so he didn't kill Batman.
Right.
And then as soon as he gets presented with something that he doesn't have to hold back with it's so overpowered that he can't do anything with it. So you kind of feel like Superman's a bit of a pussy. Well,
now, you got to keep in mind, too, he had just been hit directly in the face with not one, not two, but yes, in a WWE fashion, he'd been hit with 3 kryptonite grenades to the fucking dome. I mean, and then he got some ass whoopings like a human from Batman in a mech suit.
You can slice it up and you can justify him not being as powerful.
Right.
All you want. But that's not what I want. I don't want to see the wussy kryptonite weakened Superman. I want to see, if Superman's going to fight Doomsday, I want to see Superman unleashed. I want to see him.
But I think that also kind of nods back to him being conscious of the fact that he's been under so much going on in the controversy of his story. That's why Batman wants to fucking break him, because Superman wanted to. He could just blow the fucking planet up.
Oh, yeah,
what can we do? And he's not going to, but how do you know if he's not going to one day or not?
Right.
And So now he's got this thing that could kill the rest of the planet, but if Superman goes balls dick on this thing and tries to kill him like he should, with like laser heat vision or something, or an explosion that only Superman can create, he might kill half the fucking planet while he does it. So that's probably why he didn't go balls to the wall.
Right. Well, then you get a Zod situation.
Yeah. But my qualm with that movie is that kryptonite spear. I've just been always conditioned that, you know, Superman, if he's near kryptonite, he's weak as shit. Like, yes, that's it. You got him. You can't do nothing. If you put, I've seen, you know, that movie with him where was it Gene Wilder? No. It was, who was Lex Luthor in those old movies? I can't remember.
Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman.
Hackman. Hackman. Which is great Lex Luthor, by the way.
The best.
Yeah, it does. And he even still does the vocals for the voice acting for all the cartoons.
Are you sure about that?
Most of them. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Because it didn't sound like Gene Hackman to me.
In some of the bigger movie productions, he's still Lex Luthor. I think he was in Young Justice as a Lex Luthor.
Huh.
I think. Anyway, you know, he put that necklace of kryptonite, and it was just a little fucking rock, and it was just sitting on his chest, and he was like in a pool, just nearly drowning.
Well, here's the thing: we can't really lean on those movies for any kind of accuracy whatsoever. So you really need to go to the source material if you're going to do that. And I hate being this guy where I'm pushing up my glasses on my nose and saying, "But in the comic books." With that being said, but in the comic books, Batman took out Superman by wearing a ring that had a kryptonite nugget on it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, he shouldn't have been able to, okay, so he kills Doomsday by holding that thing and shoving it into it, and it's the kryptonite spear, and he shoves it into his chest, and he's able to fly at almost full speed to shove this thing into his chest. But no, that's not how that works, because there's kryptonite on the end of it. I don't care if he's holding the stick at the, like, it'd have been comical, but it'd have made more sense if he was coming at it, like, holding it at the very end, like, get it away from me. But no, he was holding that shit like he was.
That would have made more sense to me if you threw it.
That would have worked too. But, you know, because, I mean, tell me Superman can't throw the shit out of something.
Right.
Like, he could have thrown it so hard it would have flown through him and killed something behind him. But I just don't understand how he can hold it and still fly at the speed that he would have taken to puncture it.
That just come down to exposition. We got Doomsday. Doomsday has to kill Superman. We're running out of time because we're in the third act and we only allotted 20 minutes for this.
They shouldn't have put it in then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But now, what could they have put in there to make sense? Because, I mean, what else do we do? Because, like, they've already kind of decided that's, you know, what you had talked about when they touched on that scene again. That was the connection that Batman made was, oh, God, this guy's just as human as I am, even though he's powerful. He's got a conscience. He's doing this for a reason.
There's a million different directions they could have went, especially because this was supposed to be the seeds for the JLA.
Right. Well, no, more or less what I'm asking is like, what would you have liked to have seen? Brainiac? Okay. Well, yeah. What would you...
I'd rather seen Brainiac. All right, specifically because Brainiac he's a incredibly powerful, incredibly strong foe, or Darkseid.
Darkseid would have been great too, yeah.
Where, I mean, it's Brainiac or Darkseid, either one would have been a great foe for them to bring in. A third act kind of thing.
I would have liked to have seen Lex Luthor just get a mech suit. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, that still would have been really hard to explain away with Superman, because Superman versus Lex Luthor in a mech suit isn't really a fight. It
is when he's got kryptonite in his fist. I mean, they could have done that, though, because that guy had
They could have went in any direction they wanted.
When he got that giant hunk of kryptonite, you can't tell me he didn't try to do something with it the day he got it. It's Lex Luthor. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lex Luthor should have been behind it. I would have liked to have seen, like, Lex Luthor and, like, Brainiac kind of.
That'd have been cool. That'd have been cool to see both of them working together. Like you said, there's so many different routes they could have went with it.
Personally, that's kind of the way I would have left, and then I would have done a one-shot Superman movie just for Doomsday.
That would have been way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Because then you could have done the Funeral for a Friend series directly after it.
And I mean, I honestly don't even want to see Batman involved in that. I don't want to see Wonder Woman involved in that because they weren't really involved in it.
Speaking of which, Wonder Woman, fucking A-Ride.
Yeah, she was perfect.
Not even just done well. It just blew my expectations away.
Yeah, because it wasn't... First off, it wasn't like bimbo-y or anything dumb like that. She was solid. Like she was fucking stellar.
That's
like,
a strong
always,
woman.
Yeah, always on screen. You were just like, I wasn't looking at her going like, God damn, she's fine. I was like, she's about to fuck something up. I felt like she was an actual warrior that's literally about to fucking fight this Doomsday character that she has no business fighting.
I thought she had a kind of a strange, like, accent, but even with that, still good to go.
Well, now that could have been explained because they had shown she had been on Earth for a hot minute, so she might have been able to pick up several.
She may
accents.
have went for an Amazonian type accent, which she kind of sounded Spanish-ish.
Yeah, honestly, I was spacing out because I told you prior. I don't really watch trailers and stuff. I've seen a couple of these, but my mind had stopped for a second. I forgot about Wonder Woman even being in the film, and I thought for a second that was going to be Talia al Ghul for whatever reason, or Selena Kyle because she went to go steal that thing, and I was like, "What is that supposed to be? Catwoman? What the fuck's going on?" Then it quickly dawned on me when she's like, "I'm not like any other woman you've ever seen." I was like, "Oh, duh! Why am I not even hello?" Because I was like, she looks really familiar, and I've seen the trailer like 5 times.
And she looks very different
She does.
when she's in that dress and she's got her hair up versus when she's all Wonder Woman out.
Yeah, totally different look. So, but yeah, I thought that they did Wonder Woman pretty awesome. I really, really enjoyed the little snippets of the Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman. During that second dream sequence, though, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but as soon as he popped through, I was like, "Holy shit, that's Flash!" Because it didn't really look like his mask like you've ever really seen it before. It's kind of a different take on it. But all that shit was going on around him. But as soon as I saw him coming out of there, and he's like, "Am I too early? Am I too early?" I was like, "Are they doing like Flashpoint paradox shit right now?" And then, of course, a penis can only get so erect. I passed out from all the blood rush.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was pretty cool, man.
Okay, so what's your exit thoughts? Is this would you recommend this to a friend?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna probably warn anybody if you expect the Doomsday part to be awesome, then I'm sorry. But if you can just ignore that and pretend he's just a really cool monster, go for it.
Doomsday wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great. It wasn't as good as it could have been, and that's where my real disappointment is. Because it's not like it was a bad delivery of Doomsday.
I think it was.
I don't particularly enjoy the origin of Doomsday, but it's not so far off from the comic books.
Well, did Doomsday in the Death of Superman and those issues prior to it, whenever he appeared, did he have nuclear powers? Is that a thing that he did? Because I don't remember that. I remember him being able to like jump like he's flying, because he could just basically match Superman for where he was going.
No, Doomsday was basically the Hulk.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was the Hulk with rock punching.
Right, and later gained other powers.
Okay. What other powers did he gain? Because I don't remember that.
It was more like, oh, Doomsday's back again. He needs to be scarier than he was before.
Oh, like
he also has heat vision.
Yeah, magma breath and stuff. Yeah,
and he just didn't use it before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the deal with Doomsday was, according to the comics, and of course this come out later because in the comics Doomsday just showed up and just wrecked things.
Yeah, he just was. Blink. Hey, look, it's the guy.
Yep. Oh, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Superman's really having a hard time with this.
Yep.
Anyways, no, he was a mutant. He was a genetic genome kind of thing of testing, and then it just kept going on and on and on and on until they got him to the point where he was so strong that he didn't even need to eat or sleep anymore. Mm-hmm. He was completely self-sufficient. And then eventually found his way to Earth. So...
And was he designed for the purpose to defeat Superman, or was he just a science experiment?
It was just a science experiment to create the most powerful being ever, blah, 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 and by another race somewhere else in the galaxy.
So they're trying to create a Super Saiyan.
Right, so essentially, I guess. I don't know. But in this movie, it was, they took Kryptonian DNA and they mixed it with Lex Luthor's, and then you had Doomsday, which doesn't really
make any sense at all.
Yeah, I don't know why if you mix something that looks like a human with something that is a human, you get something that's
not human at all. That looks like an orc when it comes out.
That's 9 foot tall and has laser vision.
Like at that point in that movie where he had brought General Zod's body to the ship, and I honestly had no fucking clue what he was doing. Did you know what was going on?
I knew that there was going to be something going on with the DNA and stuff with General Zod.
I had no.
I thought he was going to try to resurrect General Zod.
I would have been so okay with that.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I mean, seriously, that's exactly what I thought was. I was blindsided by Doomsday. I had no clue.
Yeah,
completely surprised, and that thing climbed out, and I'm like, it kind of looks like Doomsday without all the rocks sticking out of its face. And then Lex Luthor goes, "This will be your Doomsday," and I had this kind of like defeated sigh of, no. Because I want to be so excited about a Doomsday movie. I wanted to not be surprised by Doomsday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he come out and he looked like an abomination of something that came out of the Lord of the Rings mixed with Ninja Turtles, I was also just incredibly disappointed.
It really did look like an orc.
Didn't it, though?
Really did.
Like, I was waiting for Lex Luthor to dip his hand in some white paint and just slap him across the face and give him a sword.
Yeah, even like the really tall orcs is what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like an Urukai.
And then if you go a little bit later on, not much later, but when he gets extra powerful, and then he starts growing some of the bones, he still doesn't get bony like he was.
No. Like, I was waiting for whenever they took him out to the outer space and they was taking him back to the Earth. You know, they were fighting in outer space for a second. I thought he was going to, like, slam him into the ground so hard that when he come out, he had just rocks sticking out of him. I was like, all right, I'll take that. Let's go with it. And they didn't do that. He was hit with a nuclear weapon, and then he grew spikes. What?
Because he absorbed the...
Yeah.
Whatever.
That part was so bad.
Okay, let's wrap this up. I'm going to say it was a good movie. Yeah. Out of a 10, I'm going to give it... strong 7.5.
I can agree with that. Yeah, 7.5.
Because, like I said, there's a lot of things that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that made me think, and it really engaged me in a lot of ways that I enjoyed these properties. But here's the thing: is as far as I'm not a fan of DC.
Yeah,
I've said that a lot. I'm really into Marvel. The few times I've got dragged into DC, specifically was Superman and Batman, which was the only two I ever had any real following of. And even then, that was kind of spotty. But the death of Superman, and then the funeral for a friend, and then the reign of Superman, that was my series that I followed so closely because it was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of Batman shoots that was really interesting to me. Like, this Batman felt more like Year One Batman.
Yeah, right. It did kind of feel like Year One. It kind of felt like the Arkham video games Batman. Like, the outfit sort of looked like the one from Arkham City. It was pretty cool.
Which was based off of Year One.
Yeah, right, exactly. And if by the way, if you haven't seen that Year One movie, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is or not, but find it, watch it. It's good.
It is.
Good.
It's pretty true to the comic.
Yeah, it's mostly from Jim Gordon's perspective, but it was really great. Also, go watch Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A good movie.
I've been watching the Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, that's good.
Have you been watching it?
I've watched like 3 episodes, and then I fell asleep.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I fell asleep on like the 4th one. We'll definitely have to talk about that on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, on the next episode, probably going to talk about a little bit of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the trailer's released.
Let's see.
No real spoilers about it because here's us, unchained, untethered, going into this because there's no more books.
Right.
We're going off into uncharted territory. There's nobody anymore that's going to be like, I read it in the book.
Yep.
I knew that was going to happen.
Right.
Because if you hear anybody say that, slap them in the face and call them a liar.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Because there's nothing in the books left. We're beyond the books after last season.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to announce that eventually, starting today actually, we're going to try to keep these down to about 30 minutes a pop. Save you a little time. Get you a little more in at whatever. Yeah. Take it. Take it all.
Yeah, I think that's about all we're going to do for today. Patrick, you got anything else? Oh, well said. On that note, we're out. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Squadcast. Head on over to facebook.com/The Squadcast. That's the best way to get in touch with us and interact with us. We have all sorts of things going on. We'll link to fun things that'll brighten up your day, I promise you. Also, all music was provided by the Bit Burner. Make sure to look him up, check him out, and support him if you really like the sound of that music. He's awesome, and he's doing us a huge favor. Thanks again. Have a day.